And welcome all of you. If you haven't, my name is Richard Smith. I'm from University of Warwick, and we're going to hear today from Laurent, James, and Jean from Rwanda. First, let me just, for those of you who don't know about the festival, which this is part of, let me just share a little bit about the festival. This is called the International Festival of Mentoring Teacher Research in ELT, and it's running from March this year until March next year, just for 1 year. And it's organized by MentorNet, which is an international network for mentors of teacher research, which all of you are welcome to join for free. And it's a support network for mentoring teacher research. But anyway, this festival is also supported by the Research SIG of ATER, by the Pilgrim's Teacher Trainer Journal, and by the British Council. And we've had a number of events, and on the webpage, I'll put the link into the chat for you in a minute. We've had a number of events, and you can see video recordings of all of these events. And I'm sure that more people will be watching the video today. And so, just to highlight, it's also supported by my university and by the Economic and Social Research Council, and that supports Elia's work organizing this. Thank you, Elia. Today, we're going to hear from Rwanda, but next time, in 1 month, I just want to encourage you to register maybe for this one on the 19th of October, the next one, which will be school mentoring, school improvement through mentoring exploratory action research. And right, so now today, we are very happy to welcome some members, active members of the Association of Teachers of English in Rwanda. This is James Mbonyuburo, Laurent Ahishakiye, and Jean Damascène Uwamahoro. And I know all three of them quite well, actually, because they were all three at different times studying at the University of Warwick and have gone back. They were on scholarships from the Hornby Trust, and they've gone back and they've had a project within ATER, which they're going to talk about today, which involves mentoring teacher research. So, hand over to you, James, Jean, and Laurent for today's presentation. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Richard, for the introduction. And thank you, everyone, for attending the webinar. We are glad to see all of you in our presentation. So today's presentation will be delivered by Laurent Ahishakiye, Jean Damascène Uwamahoro, and I as Hornby alumni, but we also have a teacher who participated in teacher research, and that is Jean-Moïse Benimana, who is going to share with us his experience as a mentee. Now, so without delaying, we can start our presentation now. I would start with the description of the teacher research project in Rwanda, and I would talk about the rationale for initiating the teacher research project, and then I will talk about the objectives of the project, the stages and the timeline of the project, and then the key stakeholders that we had in our project. That is just giving you an overview of the project. We will see the details after. Well, to start, maybe for those who don't know much about Rwanda, so I would first talk about the linguistic background of Rwanda. Well, it is important to note that we have 4 main languages in Rwanda, and that is Kinyarwanda, French, English, and Kiswahili, and all of these languages are official languages. To start with Kinyarwanda, Kinyarwanda is a national language, and it is spoken and used by almost all Rwandans. So it is the common language which is used in Rwanda. Then we have French, which is linked to the colonial legacy of Belgium, and this one used to be a language of instruction for quite a long time, and today it is only learned as a course in schools. And then we have English, of course, which is an official language. And from 2008, English was introduced as a medium of instructions at all levels of education, starting from primary to higher education. And it is gaining now, these days, English is gaining more and more prestige. So it is the language which is used in the government and in many businesses. And then we have Kiswahili, which is mainly used for business communication, specifically in East African community. Now, to go to our business today, to the teacher research projects that we introduced in Rwanda, starting from last year till May this year. So there are a number of reasons why we thought this project would be beneficial. First of all, we wanted to raise teachers' awareness about their potentials to solve their problems. Most of the teachers that we work with were not aware of this particular type of research, of this teacher research. So we thought by introducing it to raise their awareness about their capacities to solve their problems. Once again, it had been observed that there was more reliance on imported ELT resources. So, and imported ELT resources or expertise, and the teachers did not have opportunities to test these resources by themselves. And we thought that by introducing this teacher research project, it would be an opportunity for teachers to implement a self-evidenced things that they have tested by themselves. Once again, we thought that there is also more need for self-directed CPD, as most continuous professional development is provided or imposed from the top. And we thought that by introducing this teacher research project, it would be an opportunity for teachers to have their own, to have their self-directed professional development. Once again, as there was a lack of adequate professional development, so there is normally lack of adequate professional development because of many reasons, including limited resources. So by introducing this project, we thought of responding to this problem by providing opportunities to teachers to have their professional development without relying to external resources. Once again, there were very few initiatives to boost teachers' professionalism. And by introducing teacher research, this was an opportunity to increase these local initiatives to solve ELT problems. Once again, this project was introduced to give opportunities to teachers to assess English language teaching issues and find some homegrown solutions. Now, let me talk about now specific objectives of the project. So by the end of the project, we're expecting teachers to be able to explain the concept of teacher research and its usefulness. Secondly, teachers were expected to identify one problem about their English language class, collect some data about this problem, and then analyze the obtained data. And that's what we called exploratory research. And once again, teachers were expected to set and initiate some action to address the problem that they had identified. So they were supposed to use the findings or the outcomes from exploratory research, and then use it to set to propose some solution, some action to address the problem that they had identified. And again, they were supposed to share the outcomes of both exploratory and action research with other local teachers. And finally, teachers were expected to write and deliver a presentation about what they have acquired in relation to teacher research. So these were the objectives of the project. Now, let me talk now about the stages or the timeline of the project. So I'm just trying to give you an overview of the project. So we have some more details after. So we started with the preparation of the project, and that was back in February 2023. This is when we applied for the funds. This is the time when we wrote the proposal, the time we contacted the teachers we wanted to work with. So this is what we did basically in the preparation stage. And then in October 2023, we trained 5 mentors to assist the other teachers. Then in January 2023, we trained all the 25 teachers that we worked with. And then from January, the whole January and the whole February, it was time to conduct exploratory research. This is when they identified one problem about English language classes and tried to correct some data. And then in March and April, so part of, not the whole of April, and this is the time when they conducted action research. This is when they tried to implement the solution that they have proposed to solve the problem that they had identified. And then after this, towards the end of April and in early May, this is 2024, this is when the teachers prepared a presentation. So they were expected to give a presentation at ATER annual conference. And this conference, this ATER stands for Association of Teachers of English in Rwanda. So, and the conference took place on 11th May 2024, and about 19 teachers out of 25 were able to deliver their presentations. And then from 11th to 16th May, we're supposed to do some final evaluation of the project. And then we submitted the report about our project on 19th May 2024. So these were the stages of the project. Now I cannot end this without talking about the key stakeholders and the participants in our teacher research project. First of all, I want to recognize the contribution of Hornby Trust. They provided us with some financial support. We used this financial means for refreshments, for transport fees for teachers who were participating in different workshops. And then we also worked closely with the Association of Teachers of English in Rwanda, ATER, because they allowed us to work with 5 communities of practice. So they are the ones who gave us the permission to work with these 5 communities of practice from different districts, from 5 districts. And once again, I also want to thank my fellow Hornby alumni who were committed to this project. So we worked together to make a follow-up for the project from the beginning to up to the end. And once again, I want to recognize APACOP Rwanda, who provided, this is a school in Ikigali, and they provided us with a free venue. So without any further ado, I want to hand over to Mr. Laurent to share with us his mentoring experience. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, James. I hope everybody can hear me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, James. Yeah, I'm also one of the Hornby alumni that participated in this project. We were 3 Hornby alumni, and we had the idea. And I initially was out of the association, but in order to make it really useful, we had the Association of Teachers of English working, and then we said, why not joining them? Tell them the idea, because we are members of the association, give them this idea, and I think they are going to love it and accept it. Fortunately, they accepted it. The Association of Teachers of English in Rwanda has been there for now 14 years, or yeah, around 15 years. And currently it's working through small groups of teachers called communities of practice. These communities of practice are made of around in between 15 and 25 members, teachers who live in the same neighborhood or teach in the same neighborhood, who can get together easily and talk about issues they come across every day and find solutions. So we gave them this idea of teacher research, and I'm sure they loved it. So if we could go ahead to the next one. So the initial skills of Hornby alumni, go about a bit to, yeah. James and I and Damascène, we were alumni, Hornby alumni, and we were Warwick alumni, and we had this idea of teacher research actually from our studies in MA TISO with our Professor Richard. He was the first person to mention this. It was our first time to hear. But of course, this was at the level of a theoretical level. So we got the idea, we did our masters and concluded it, then we went back home. All right, and the next one. So then when we had this idea of a project, you can understand that our knowledge was at the level of theory. So initially, when we started this project, we had a plan of selecting 5 members, 5 teachers from 5 COPs, 5 communities of practice. And we trained them as mentors who were supposed to go back and support their colleagues in the project. However, when we started talking about it, we realized that ourselves didn't have enough knowledge about it. We needed more, and we didn't have enough to give mentors, to help mentors to be able to help their colleagues. Fortunately, when we were still in that dilemma, Richard told me about the sessions of EVO 2024 and mentoring teacher researchers. Oh, then I was like, wow, it's great. Let's join it. Now maybe we can learn something and go back to help our colleagues. So then what happened was the idea of training 5 mentors, we kind of dropped it because we realized ourselves needed mentorship skills. So we joined EVO 2024 session and we were trained. It was a great experience. If you can go to next paragraph. Yeah, the EVO 24 sessions were very informative because we learned a lot about exploratory action research. We learned about the stages. We learned about how to support other mentees. We had this practice of mentoring with a partner, where we played the role of a mentor and a mentee, and then we took turn. It was really informative. We went through all the stages of EAR, and it was helpful. It was transformative because we built our confidence. We got skills, we got knowledge, we knew how to help our colleagues. Then we were transformed, we were changed, we were ready to go and support. These sessions were practical as well. Like I said, we practiced this in the real action and with a colleague, and we did this. We felt what it feels to be a mentor and what it feels to be a mentee. And personally, I remember one of the lessons I got from these sessions was approaching a mentee is, approaching a mentee shouldn't be like I'm an expert approaching someone who doesn't know. It should rather be collaborating, being ready to guide, not to dictate what they should be doing. So I learned this, and together with my colleagues, with all of together, and we learned this. We went back ready. If you could go to the next. So now, when we went back to our project after attending these sessions, it was I think a month, and then we went back. We organized now another face-to-face meeting with our teacher researchers in Kigali, capital city of Rwanda, and then we had this knowledge to give them. We were confident. We had this confidence. We had a team. We explained what they were going to do. Everything then seemed like anew, refreshed. And after this face-to-face meeting, taking them through what they were going to do, we went to individualized mentorship, where after everybody among ourselves, 3 of us, had to share and get a number of teachers to support who became our mentees, and then we started having with them individualized mentorship, having with them sessions online, using WhatsApp or telephone calls, whatever was, we had to agree on what was appropriate to use. And we started with exploratory research, and we worked on it, and we went through all the processes from identifying a problem, setting research questions, selecting the questions that were going to be used in the research, using them to collect data in their classrooms, getting the data, analyzing the data, and come up with the solution that they wanted to apply in their classroom, And all of these were done individually with mentor, mentee, working together. If you could go to the next. All right, yeah. So after exploratory research, we had a presentations where we invited all the teachers participating in the project again to meet in Kigali, and everybody had their presentation to show what they have done in the exploratory research. And everybody presented, they got comments from colleagues and from now all of us together, and it was helpful. And everybody from this meeting went back home with a change they wanted to carry on in their classroom to see how it works in action research. So everybody went back in their classrooms, they applied the change they wanted to make in their classroom and see how it works. Again, they went through the procedures as we had learned them. And at the end of, if you could go to the next one, at the end of the action research, again, the teachers had everything. Before we went for the inter-COP conference, we had meetings, online meetings, again, talking about it, how far they were with making a change in their classrooms, how it was working. And again, those meetings were making them ready to prepare their presentations, because we had agreed that everybody was supposed to present this in the national conference of the association that currently we call Inter-COP Conference, as COPs get together and organize the conference. So it was for teacher researchers, it was time for them to disseminate what they have done, explain to their colleagues what teacher research is, and tell them what they have done. And it was also an opportunity to demystify this term of research that we all know that previously it was an academic term that everybody who says, I'm going to do research, you think it's an academic research. So teachers here were ready to present what they have done and how they have simplified the term research. So after this conference, then people were ready to go back and keep this idea working, and COPs had met. We had met all the COPs and they liked it. I'm sure if you could see presentations that were mostly attended were teacher research presentations. So I hope teachers liked it, and we hope to go ahead and work on it as they will show in the future plans. I think this is the end. Thank you, James. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Laurent, for sharing your experience as a mentor. Now it's time to have Moise Benimana to share now his experience as a mentee. Over to you, Moise. Thank you. Moise? Moise, can you hear me? Moise?
So Moise, hello Moise, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing from you.
That's great. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, everyone is hearing from me?
Yes, we can hear you, Moise.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Benimana Jean Moise. I'm going to share you as a mentee my experience I got from teacher research. So may you go to the next, then I present. So this is my presentation. I'm going to focus on only two things. The first, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about what I got during teacher research, or what I learned from teacher research. The second, I have to talk the relationship between my mentor and I. So here about what I learned from teacher research, as a mentee, during the teacher research, I got different skills in teacher research. The first thing I could talk here during the teacher research, I got their critical thinking. When I try to explain this critical thinking, which I got during the teacher research, I can describe during the time I did the teacher research, I got how to collect the data. That is the first thing I got there during the teacher research. The second, teacher research also helped me to learn research methodology, the methodology I used during the teacher research. And then also I learned there about the data analysis. Before starting this teacher research, I didn't know how now to analyze the data, for example, I do in the classroom. So when I learned teacher research, it helped me now to know how to analyze different data, not only for the one we focused, but also even outside we looked. The next here also about communication skills. Here about communication skills, I could talk how I communicate with my mentor, how I communicate with my fellow teachers, how I communicate with other teachers. We did the same research. So I got communication skills there. The next, I could talk about
Moise, are you still there? Moise?
It helps me now to work in a team. Are you hearing for me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I can continue. So I was talking about the teamwork, another skill I got during delivering the teacher research. Also, not only that teamwork, the next I got also problem solving. I learned how to solve the problem I could meet. So there, even mentor and the other teachers whom we did the same research, when, for example, I met the problem, I can ask them, then I know how to handle the problem. Not only those, I could talk many skills I got from there. Also, I can talk about the practical reflection. About practical reflection here, as a mentee, it helps me now, that time helped me to assess and improve my professional practice. The next, what I got there, I can talk about flexibility. When we talk flexibility, everyone understands that flexibility also during the teacher research helped me now to find or change to find and change where as a mentor I was flexible and adapted in a different situation. The next, may you go to the next? Yes. Okay. So, About the benefits I got from their benefits as a teacher, I'm going to focus about those three. The first is about the developmental planner. Here, when we talk about the developmental planner, I want to explain deeply how I developed. About this one, this benefit developmental planner or development planner, I could talk now here nowadays. It helped me very well to know what I could do. During the time I did the teacher research, I met different issues. We were talking about, for example, how the children, they like to use mother tongue more than English. So here as a teacher, I take initiative. This initiative I take, so I create action plans. It means that helps me to be a development planner. I create, first of all, the action plan, what I could do, what I could help my teachers now to develop the foreign language, English, and the other foreign languages. Also, it helps me to identify and setting the goals in the time frame. It means there, when we did the action plans or creating the action plans, we really know what are our purpose. What do we want now as a teachers of the school? Where do we want to reach for the kids, for the students we have? They could use mother tongue more than the foreign languages. So we create the action plans such as the club, the debates. So the reason why I talked here a development plan. The second, resource partner. Here, when we talk about the resource partner, I could explain nowadays, I can say I'm marketable because nowadays, now I became a mentor. So I facilitate my colleague teacher to develop the language of English, how we set the goals, what we should do to improve our children, how they can speak English fluently. The next,
Moise, we can't hear you.
run. From that time, I learned about the teacher research. Nowadays, I'm still running. I'm still, for example, when I want to be trained about any issue, so I'm running. I'm still want time to get skills and knowledge about teacher research. May you go to the next? Okay, now, here I want to talk about what I gained from my mentor. Actually, I really thank my mentor because he helped me. It is like someone, a mother who helped a child from born stage until to the, for example, adolescent stage. Because I was closing eyes, but nowadays I opened my eyes because my mentor guided me during the data collection. The first time I remembered when they invited us to go to attend the. Do you hear from me?
Yes, we can hear you. It
I
seems
think
you have
there
two
is-
devices.
Yeah, let me try to close one. Okay, now can you hear me?
There are still echoes from your side. Moise? Moise? Okay. It seems Moise has had a problem. Moise, can you hear us?
I think he closed the wrong device, actually. The other one was better.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can continue with another part, and if he comes back, we'll continue with what was remaining. Thank you, Moise. And then we can continue with the next part, which is about sharing the outcomes of, sharing the outcomes of mentoring practices. Jean Damascène, can he hear us? Jean Damascène?
So Jean
Yes, James, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Over to you, Jean Damascène.
Okay, thank you. So please allow me not to share my the video is off because my internet is not good. So sorry for that. So I will be sharing the outcomes of mentoring practices. Thank you all for joining us today as we are sharing what you have been doing in teacher research here in Rwanda. My name is Damascène Uwamahoro. I am one of the team that has introduced teacher research in Rwanda. So as I have said, I'm going to share with you the outcomes of mentoring practices. First of all, I want to talk about how we try to evaluate the outcomes of teacher research that we conducted in Rwanda. We used like 3 methods, and one of them is mentors reflection. So this is, we tried to start together and we tried to
Okay, so I think we can't hear you, Damascène. So I will take over probably because we can't hear him. He's experiencing some internet issues. As he was saying, to evaluate the outcomes of the teacher research project, we used the 3 things. We used the 3 methods.
James,
Number 1.
Excuse me, James.
Yes.
James.
You are back now.
I'm back.
All right.
I'm sorry, the internet is.
Moise is back as well, I think.
Yes.
Shall we go back to Moise first?
All right, Moise, please, you have a few minutes to finish your presentation, please. So you were talking about what you gained from your mentor, please.
Yes, I think everyone is hearing from me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I was talking about the guidance and the data collection. That's what my mentor helped me. Also, he liked to give me the advice about the ethics in research. So about there, he told me what I should do. One day, the next day, what I could do, the next day, what I could do. That's what he liked to help me. Also, I gained how to make peer collaboration. Here, I collaborated with my mentor as true friends because he didn't deny to call me. I too, when I I had a problem, I could call him myself, and he didn't deny my call. May you go to the next? Yes, the next, what I gained from my mentor also, I got the skill, the sharing information. So for what I got for the first day or the second day, what I recorded, I have to inform to my mentor. Also, encouraging others to achieve their goals. Here, that is what mentor likes to tell me. Not only that, but also here, I could talk about creating long-term relationship between my mentor and I. Not only about this teacher research, what he helped me, but also in our daily life. Also, when I get any problem about any issue related to education, I could call him and he must help me himself. That's what I gained from mentor. I could now.
We'll hand over.
Yes, I'm going to conclude.
All
Here,
right.
yes, allow me to appreciate the following. Actually, my appreciation goes to those who initiated the idea of getting to involve in teacher research as implemented by teachers themselves. With the time we did this teacher research training, we didn't think if we are going to do as a teacher, but the way we did it, it helped us now to really know the cases we like to meet as a teachers, but we don't consider those cases. But nowadays, after knowing, recognizing how to make a teacher research, so it helped me to solve different issues. I also thank those supporters who helped us, because nowadays we are marketable, because we should help other colleagues, teachers, how we make a research, how we can handle any case we should meet in our daily life about the education career. So I thank everyone. We could continue to Damascène to continue where he was. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Moise. Over to you, Damascène. Damascène, can you hear us? Jean Damascène? You must be experiencing some internet issues, so I will just take over. So I was saying that to evaluate the outcomes of the teacher research project, we used the three methods. We relied on our reflections as mentors. We were observing what was taking place while teachers were participating in workshops, when they were presenting what they have done in teacher research. So we were writing down our reflections about our mentoring practices. Once again, we designed some questionnaires to evaluate what teachers had been doing. So we submitted questionnaires to teachers to fill in their reflections, and this helped us to evaluate the impact of the teacher research project. Once again, we conducted some interviews with teachers, and teachers were able to tell us what they have gained from the teacher research project. So, and well, on the side of mentors, we can say that there has been increased understanding of teacher research and the process of mentoring teacher research. So for most of us, it was the very first time to conduct mentoring activities. So this then enabled us to have a more understanding of how to conduct conduct mentoring. And thanks to EVO courses that we're taking, we're able to put in practice what we are running from EVO courses. And once again, we gained some new mentoring skills, such as building trust and mutual respect, building trust between a mentor and a mentee. And this is something very important for the successfulness of mentoring activities. So we, as Laurent mentioned, we were like equal partners in our project. So, and even using the concept of mentor, so we're teachers learning together. We're all teachers learning together. So we created this, we gained this skill about creating trust and mutual respect between a mentor and a mentee. And once again, we also learned how to plan together, how to make schedules together, how to schedule communication plans. So we were able to plan together, planning together between a mentor and a mentee, and this was something really very, very helpful for mentors. And once again, and this is really very important, we learned how to give non-judgmental feedback. So, and so we tried to avoid telling researchers what we're doing. Instead, we tried to elicit their opinions and guided them through. This is what we tried to do by asking them some questions, not just acting as if we were the ones having all the answers to their queries. Instead, we tried to help them to ask some questions, even to respond to these questions by themselves. We learned how to help, how to paraphrase what we say while mentoring teachers, even encouraging teachers themselves to paraphrase their responses, and suggesting different options for different scenarios. And then on the side of teacher researchers, we can say that what they have learned most about conducting teacher research is that now they can identify the problems in their classrooms and suggest some evidence-based solutions. And this is something important because before starting even the teacher research project, we conducted some surveys. We asked the teachers how they go about the problems they face in their classrooms, and most of them were saying, once we have a problem, we simply report it to school leaders. So they were not aware that they could actually identify those problems by themselves, and then try to gather some data, try to collect some data to analyze those problems, and then be able to suggest to solve those problems. So I can say that now teachers are able to identify the problems that they face while teaching English classes. Once again, teachers gain some points I mean confidence in presenting the outcomes of their research. So I told you that the last stage of our teacher research project was to prepare a presentation and deliver it at the ATER annual conference. So teachers did it successfully, and we were able to realize that their confidence in sharing the findings in sharing the outcomes of their research has increased. So at the beginning, I will come back to that, maybe about the challenges that we faced. At the beginning, most teachers were not able to deliver their presentations or to share what they had been doing because they were afraid that their English was not good. But towards the end of the project, most teachers were able to deliver their presentations. So, and we can say that this is a big impact of the teacher research on their confidence to deliver their presentations. So that's all what we can say about the impact of conducting teacher research on both the side of mentors and even on the side of teachers themselves. Please allow me to continue with the challenges and solutions. So, okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So I will continue with the challenges that we faced. Though the teacher research project we conducted in Rwanda was overall successful, well, we could confidently say that it was successful, but we faced some challenges, and we were able to navigate through those challenges, and we were able to find some solutions to those challenges. Now, the very first challenge we faced was about distance. The teachers we worked with were from 5 different districts, and most of them are from remote areas, because we wanted this project to reach out to those people in remote areas. We did not want to work with teachers who were in Kigali. So we wanted just to work with those teachers in some remote areas. So, and so meeting these teachers was a challenge, because they were in different, these teachers do not work in the same schools. Of course, they come from different schools, and for them to meet was a challenge, and even meeting their mentors face to face was almost not possible. So what we did, we created a WhatsApp group. We created a WhatsApp group, and we ensured that we maintain a regular communication with these teachers. So we were sharing resources via WhatsApp. We were sharing the outcomes. I mean, what teachers were doing. For example, when we asked them to set questions for their research questions, they were sharing them on WhatsApp, and different people were giving some feedback about their topics and the research questions. So we shared almost all what we're doing via WhatsApp, and we also use telephone calls. So telephone calls are not that expensive in our place. So we also relied on telephone calls for mentoring activities. So that's how we solved this problem about distance. And another challenge was about teachers' health. Most of the teachers, we worked with primary and secondary school teachers, and they do normally have a heavy workload ranging from 35 to 40 hours of face-to-face teaching every week. So you understand they have to be in class, they have to be marking the exams. So most teachers were saying that they have a heavy workload. Apart from the teaching workload, the school workload, they also have some family responsibilities. So what we tried to explain to teachers was that teachers such must be an integral part of the teaching process. Should not teach such as an extra workload. That's something they do while teaching. So it shouldn't be seen as an extra workload. Correcting data does not require an extra class. So that's something a teacher can do even while teaching. So, and teachers were able to understand that this is not something extra, that's something they can still do while teaching. Apart from that, there was lack of sufficient knowledge in research on both sides, on both the side of mentors. We cannot really say that we are experts in conducting research. We are still learning how to conduct research. And more of that on the side of teachers. Some of them have not gone to university. Some of them are primary school teachers and have not gone to university, and they did not, some of them did not have any idea about research at all. So we had to start from the scratch for some teachers to explain to them what research is, all of those things, the steps of conducting research. And even those few of them who went to universities only conducted research when they were writing their final year dissertations, and they did not conduct any other research. And this was a challenge for most of us. So as a solution, we emphasize that gaining skills about research is a process. It is not something you can say you have full knowledge of. So research is a process. Conducting research is a process. It should be seen as a process. We are all in that, on that journey of learning how to conduct research. And once again, and this is very specific in our context, some teachers, very few of them initially were reluctant to join because of lack of financial motivations. So normally in our place, most of CPD sessions, workshops are provided by these international NGOs, and sometimes they provide some money. And so telling teachers that they won't be getting any money from this project was a challenge. But as I said before, our aim was to sensitize teachers about creating their own continuous professional development. So our aim was to make them understand that they shouldn't be relying on financial support from other people for their own continuous professional development. And luckily, most of them were able to understand this and participated into the project till the end. And once again, I have already talked about this lack of sufficient skills in English language. So most of the teachers had problems in English language proficiency, and they could not communicate using English language. Initially, we were allowing some teachers to use Kinyarwanda, but once again, our target was to help them improve even their English language skills. So we told them, even though they could make mistakes in English language, it doesn't matter. What matters more is their willingness to share what they have done and what they have learned. Then another challenge we faced was lack of proper training materials. We relied heavily on the materials that were produced by different people specifically, and we even thank Professor Richard for his contributions. We relied heavily on the materials that were produced by Professor Richard to train teachers. So what we did was just to adapt these materials to our context, to adapt them to the level of our teachers. We tried to make those materials simpler for language for teachers to use. And well, number 7, another challenge was about lack of enough expertise in mentorship skills. So I think I have also talked about this, and we all we tried to learn more about how to mentor teachers. So we realized this gap, and we tried to improve our mentorship skills. Okay, thank you very much. So is Damascène back? Is Damascène back? Well, it seems.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right. Laurent, is Laurent here? Laurent?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay, Laurent, please, over to you to continue with our future plans.
Yeah, thank you, James. Oh, yeah, so after all this project happening in COPs, we hope to have more of the same practice happening in COPs, like Moses said. Moses said that now he's become a mentor. He's helping colleagues, and this is what we wanted when we had this activity happening in COPs. We wanted that a smaller group of teachers practice this, love it, and then spread it in their COPs, and we think that this is going to happen, and this is what we happily the association leadership is also in support of this. So we hope this is going to work in COPs and be spread all over the country. And of course, we are living in a context where teachers would like, in some cases, support, be it skills, but also financially. So we are also planning to keep working on applications for grants, and hopefully if we get grants and keep having more projects to do teacher research. Again, encouraging other teachers to get involved in mentoring teachers, starting of course with the group we trained. We hope that Moses is one of them here, and we have more others like Moses, and we hope they are going to help us to become mentors of their colleagues. Yeah, I think so far that's what we have, and maybe as we keep working with the COPs, we will come up with more other ideas and strategies to use. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. We are moving towards the end of our presentation. Now, We now make a summary of what we have been saying. Well, overall, on our side as a Hornby alumni, we can say that conducting this teacher research project in Rwanda improved our mentorship skills. We have talked about this. It also improved our leadership skills, learning how to motivate teachers to get engaged into teacher research. That was not something easy to convince teachers that they have to participate in teacher research, because the very first question they ask you is, what are we gaining from this? So what if we do research, we get this, what are we gaining? But we were able to convince them about the benefits of participating in teacher research. Once again, another thing we learned from conducting this project is anticipating various scenarios, because there are times when we could have planned things, and when we're about to implement them, we find different scenarios, different things coming up. So, and when we were planning, we tried to anticipate various options so that we can cope with most of the challenges. Once again, conducting this research project increased our communication and collaboration skills. We realized that our project was successful because we tried to maintain proper communication, and we tried to collaborate with different partners, collaborating with teachers, collaborating with different sponsors. So it was very essential this was very essential for the successfulness of our project. And then on the side of teachers, we have said that conducting this project improved their classroom ELT, English language teaching skills, their English language teaching skills, and their such skills. So they were able to explore the issues in their classrooms, and were able to come up with some solutions to solve those problems. And now they have an idea about research, about how to conduct research. And we hope to continue to work together so that we can all improve our teacher research skills. Once again, this project helped teachers to increase their sense of CPD ownership. So teachers were able to understand that they don't need to wait for external partners to provide them with their professional development. This is something they can do by themselves through conducting teacher research. Once again, teachers were able to improve their networking skills for their continuous professional development. So you understand that now teachers from these teachers from 5 different districts were able to meet and share the outcomes of teacher research. And even today, we still have the WhatsApp group. We are still communicating, we are still sharing, we are still maintaining this network, and we hope it improves teachers' professional development. And once again, this project enabled teachers, and this was the most important thing, to discover their potentialities, to find solutions to English language teaching problems through small and systematic inquiries of their own practices. So that's what we these are the lessons we can say we have overall learned from conducting this teacher research project in Rwanda. So thank you all for your attention. Now I think we can move to the time for questions and answers. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, James, Laurent, and Jean, Damascène, and Jean-Moïse as well. And that was really thorough, comprehensive, and very reflective narrative of your journey, and also showing the challenges and not only the benefits. And one purpose or major purpose of our festival is to show others in other contexts what they could do, and what the benefits are, but also the challenges. And I think we've really learned a lot from what you've been saying in your presentation. So let me ask anybody if you would like to write in the chat or put your hand up, a real hand or a sort of virtual hand. Anna has already done that. Over to you, Anna.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on what to me seems like a model project. You've done absolutely everything fantastically well. You had 19 teachers presenting out of 25, which is impressive. And I also think your timeline was very realistic. And so you were able to overcome some of your difficulties because you had time for everything to happen. So that's really heartening to see, because quite often things are compressed. I wanted to ask you a question, which I think you may have been asked in another forum, which is the teachers that you were mentoring were free to choose their topic, and the school gave them that liberty or that agency in order to research what they wanted. The school didn't limit them in what they wanted to look at.
You're just checking whether that's true.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I will call upon Moise as a mentee to say what happened. Moise, are you still there? Moise? Well, it seems Moise cannot hear us. Well, what I would say is that—
I'm hearing from you.
Okay, now, have you heard the question?
But I didn't. No, I didn't hear it.
So the question was—
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay,
yes.
I'm repeating the question, please. So the question is whether
no problem.
whether you were free to choose your own topics,
yes,
and whether the schools allowed you to gather, to collect some data about your topics without any problem.
Come again. Let me tell you what I have heard, if it is true.
All right.
Okay. Now, I have heard that you told me what the topic I could choose.
Were you free?
And make a teacher research?
Were you free to choose your own topics for teacher research? Can you hear us, Moise? Well, it seems that Moise cannot hear us. Well, what I would say is that teachers were free to choose their own topics. So they were the ones to choose what they wanted to research about. They were the ones to formulate their research questions. They were the ones to collect the data. Nobody has collected the data on their behalfs. So, and no teacher reported to us that the school denied them the right to collect data from schools. So the schools were supportive. The schools were supportive, and teachers were also collaborating, were also communicating with the school leaders about what they were doing. So that's what I can say about that. Thank you.
If I may add, we were lucky that these teachers we worked with are teachers who are already members of COPs, and they are already working, and the schools know them. So one more, like James said, this practice of teacher research was incorporated in their normal teaching. It means it wasn't outside the teaching practice. So identifying one challenge of that they come across in their teaching and work out to find a solution to this problem was something teachers decided on their own. We just helped them to reshape the issue, because sometimes you would realize that what the teacher thinks is a problem, if you analyze it, worked together, maybe a different problem is this, but it was guiding them. Otherwise, the decision was from the teachers, and the schools were supportive. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you both.
So one reason we wanted you to present about this project is that it's in a teacher association, ATER, and there are many teacher associations, of course, around the world, and it just seems like to me like a great place to encourage mentoring of teacher research inside a teacher association. Let me share one reason. One reason is that a teacher association is not like a project which is just starts and ends like a British Council project or another project from a different funder. Of course, you can go and look for funding. You want to look for funding. But you, as a teacher association, you are going to last longer. You know, you're going to hopefully last forever as a teacher association. So the possibility of sustainability is there, which many projects, as we all know, many projects just begin and they're very good, and then they end and nothing continues. So thank you very much for talking about where you hope the project can go from now. And Moise has already shared that for himself is now becoming a mentor. And that's something we see happening in many different contexts. But I think it does need the structure which you have as a teacher association. So I'm just sharing my view that this is a great example of a teacher association supporting, or you three within your teacher association, taking the initiative to support mentoring of teacher research, hopefully as something that can continue into the future. And maybe share it, well, through this presentation, through this video, let's share it very widely as we can, to inspire other teacher associations to consider this, because I think you've shown very much the advantages, the benefits, and as well as being very honest, reflective about some of the challenges. Okay, that's my comment. Anybody else like to comment or question? Okay. Well, Susan has said, and I think we all agree, that was a super presentation. And thank you so much for sharing your reflections and insights. I love what you're doing and look forward to hearing how this project develops in the future. I think we all do want to express our support and our willingness to help you in any way. It was great also to hear how you started the project full of enthusiasm and great initiative. Then you reflected and you realized you needed more. You needed to know more about how to mentor. You joined us, Sedin is here, so you joined us in our Evo. And very nice to hear that you benefited. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for sharing a lot of reflections about the mentoring experience, because this festival is focusing on the mentoring. So that was great to hear that, and we're all in this together as a community. We talk about MentorNet as a community. MentorNet.net is our new website, and so yeah, we really hope that you can continue in some way, and that you've planted a seed in your association which will grow. Moise, actually, I have a question for Moise. You said, Moise, you're becoming a mentor, having done the experience of teaching, of being a mentee, and this is what they wanted at the beginning. They were hoping that more people would become mentors. You said one thing, Moise. you are marketable, and I just wonder, I just hope that you may get some
Yes.
payment for that. Is that true? Do you get any advantage from your school or from your district for being a mentor?
Thank you. Everyone,
We can hear you, I think.
so I was saying that I'm a mentor or marketable because now, before I started this teacher research, the school didn't know me what I could do. When I did teacher research, I come back here to school. I could answer the first questions asked if I was free during the time I did teacher research. No, I was teaching. During the time I was teaching, I also did teacher research. So what I researched that time, I record somewhere. I collect the data at the end, then I combine those information. So about marketable, I showed the school what the school should do in order to improve the languages, how we could speak the language, what we should do to help the learners to speak out English everywhere they are. So I showed them all possible ways they could do, such as how we could teach them the dialogues, we go into the debates, we could search, for example, according to what the runners they like. For example, those one who like sports, they could play, they could learn vocabularies of sports. So those, when I presented in the pedagogical day, the owner of the school told me that you're supposed to show them the direction because you know many things. So that time they pointed me as a mentor who supposes to.
Thank you, Moise. So that is a great story, I think, as well, to share. Because as James said, and I know this from Laurent and from talking with James and Damascène.
Private school,
Oh, sorry.
we have to. Sorry,
sorry.
do you? I think you are hearing from me.
Thank you, Moise. Thank you. I think there's a delay, so that's why it sounds like I'm interrupting you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but thank you, Moise, for sharing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. And just wanted to say finally, well, James was, and I know this, that CPD in sub-Saharan Africa, maybe teachers don't have much time. They may, as you said, James, they may expect some funding or something from the CPD which is offered, and you want to share the value of CPD, intrinsic value, but you have also shown how teachers have developed confidence, how teachers like Moise have become more like a leader, I suppose, in their own context and region, as sharing their research. I think we see this generally, that teachers become more confident, they share, and then others will see them as leaders. So who knows, Jean-Moise, I hope you go far. Maybe you become headmaster one day, and maybe you are, I don't know. Maybe you become.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah.
Maybe this can help. I think you can be marketable in that sense in the future. Maybe it's a long term. We have to tell the teachers, this is not an
Absolutely.
this is not an immediate financial benefit, but let's hope in long term it's financially beneficial for you as well, and you become the Minister of Education even in Rwanda eventually.
Thank you so much for the wish.
Okay, so that brings to an end. Thank you so much for your great presentation today, all of you, all four of you. And best wishes. Thanks everybody for attending. And
Richard, Cloud has a question. I think there's one more question.
Okay, Claude asks, Claude is wondering, okay, this is a good question to ask you all. Did the primary and the high school teachers face the same problems when they were conducting their research? You could take this two ways, maybe the problems of doing the research or the problems that they were researching, the same issues. I don't know if you want to answer, James.
Okay, well, I would say that they did not have the same problems. Of course, you understand they don't have the same skills about conducting research. They don't have the same proficiency in English language, but the reason why we decided that they could work together, it's just we want to help one another. We want to collaborate. So as I was saying, we are all equal. When we are in the communities of practice, we are all equal. So our ultimate purpose is to support one another. So there was not a challenge about having teachers with different abilities. Instead, it was an opportunity. It was a helpful for teachers to support one another. Thank you.
Thank you, James. I think that was another very interesting and aspect of your situation and your project, that you're talking about communities of practice within a teacher association, which itself can be seen as a community of practice, although teacher associations can be quite hierarchical, with leaders and followers, as it were. But the idea of a community of practice, and then within that, you're developing a community of practice which is not hierarchical, and you learned how to not be dominant through your experience and through learning more about mentoring. It was a powerful aspect, I think, of what you've been saying today. So again, thank you very much, all of you. Very, very useful and interesting presentation. Thank you. So goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you hopefully in 1 month at the next event. And don't forget, MentorNet is always here to support mentors of teacher research. Bye. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.